The important concept in C++ programming is OOPS concept. OOPS, that means object oriented programming style. Okay, so OOPS will come under OOPS concepts will come under object, classes, data abstraction and encapsulation, and inheritance and polymorphism, dynamic binding and message passing. So you just remember this OCDIPDM. Only these 7 concepts are called as OOPS concepts. Okay, so first one is what? Objects, and next one is classes and data abstractions and inheritance. Data abstractions, and the next one is polymorphism and dynamic binding. And M means message passing. Okay, only these 7 concepts, if you thorough, you can write any of the OOPS concept programming by yourself very easily. Okay, so now we see what is class and object. Okay, so class is a user defined data type. So we are defining a particular data type. For example, what is data type? Whether it is an integer or character or float, so it is a data type, right? So integer means it will be an whole number. Here you are creating the class which you are defining a particular data type. For example, I am defining a class add. Okay, so I am creating a class add which consisting of a set of data variables and methods to manipulate that data. So I am creating a new data type which will be consisting of some data and methods. Methods means functions to manipulate that data. What are the data I have given here? See, class add integer a comma b, and this is the called as data or variables, and this a comma b I am going to manipulate inside the add class. Okay, so this is called methods or member functions. This is called as method or member functions, which is defining in the public session. Okay, so here you see C equal to a plus b. So data, variables and methods to manipulate this data. Okay, so this method will access only these variables. These private members can be accessible only within these member functions. Okay, so this is called as class. So I am defining new class based on some process. If I want a class add, so add means what? So I want 2 variables to add the data, and what is the function I am going to do? What is the function I am going to do? I am going to add it, add function C equal to a plus b. So this is a simple process, and based on the application, okay, based on the application, for example, if it is a banking system, I can give class banking system. Okay, so and then int deposit. So deposit is a variable. And what are the function I can do based on the deposit? Either I can do withdrawal or deposit amount. Okay, withdrawal means what has to happen? My account has to debit. Okay, debit means I have to subtract the deposit amount. Otherwise, if it is deposited, means I have to add the value to the account. So these are all some set of process on that data, right? So that is called class. So class is a user defined data type. Okay, I am creating my new data type. Okay, I am creating this kind of data will be like this. Okay, add means this has to be there. Okay, like that, based on the application I am creating my own data type, that is class. So what the class is consisting of? Set of data or variables. So it consisting of set of variables and methods to manipulate that data. Methods means nothing but member functions or functions. So void add is a functions. Class is a user defined data type which consisting of data variables and member functions which is used to manipulate the given data. That's it. Are you clear in this class concept? Yes, class is completed. Right. Now come to the object. So what is object? Objects are the variables of the type class. So object is the variables. For example, int a comma b. So a is a variable and b is a variable which is belongs to integer data type. Okay, a is an integer, b is an integer, right? So similarly, class add. So add is an class add is a user defined data. I defined the data type add. So now I am creating variables for class, that is add a1. Okay, so add a1. This is called as object. This is called as object. Okay, so objects are the variables of the type class. So this is the variable for this class. Okay, so a1 type will be based on this add. So it consisting of a1 will manipulate this a comma b and add. It will be called this and all. Okay, so it's nothing. Objects are the variables of the type class. That's it. Okay, so object is clear. So now you are completed two concepts in OOP, objects and classes. Very good. Next thing, by default members are called private members. By default, if you are not defining anything, which is defined as in private members. Okay, in a class there are three accessible. Okay, one is private and another one is public and another one is protected. There are three access specifier. That is one private member, two public member and three protected members. By default, these are all called the members. Whenever you are declaring a comma b inside the class, the variables are called as data members. Okay, so if you are doing any manipulation or any function, that is called as an member functions. Remember what is data member? The variables you are declaring inside the class. What is member function? The function which is used to manipulate that data is called as member function. What is class? Class is a user defined data type. What is object? Objects are the variables of the type class. How many access specifiers are there? One is private members, public member, protected member, right? So now you see what is private member. If you are not defining anything here access, so here they are specifying public, right? So public scope resolution operator. This member functions, that is void add, this is accessible by the object or outside of the class. Okay, this public function is accessible outside of the class. But whenever you are defining as a private, that is accessible only within this function. This a and b can be accessible only in the add function. This a and b can be accessible only in the add function. So that is called as private members. Public members are accessible outside the class members, whereas protected is also one accessible which can be accessed only within the derived class, that we are going to see in the upcoming videos. Okay, So now you clear, right? So member function definition similar like a function declaration. Whatever you are declaring this function inside the class, that will be same like a function declaration. We have seen already, right, how to define a function. So what is a return type, function name, and what is the argument list, what you are defining that function, which will be same like here also. Member function is nothing but it is similar like a function declaration, right?